Welcome everyone to episode 150 of Raw Sport. My name is Ahmed Al Houli. We're back with another episode with a very special guest, a man who has been on the show a few times, Mr. Dmitriy Salita. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Great to be back.
My utmost pleasure, sir. Dmitry, you've had a very, very busy, say, weekend and say couple of months. You hosted a sold-out Shields, Claressa Shields fight night. Interesting undercard as well. Nothing to shy away from. At Little Caesars, 18,000 people packed the stands. It was an absolute party. Take us through the night and what made it so special.
Incredible night of boxing. Clarissa's brand has really grown leaps and bounds. She's a bona fide superstar in the United States and feels like all over the world. It was a packed event. Celebrities from all over the country flew to be there ringside to support a historic moment in sports. And much respect, of course, to Franchon Cruz, who is a future Hall of Famer, great fighter, going into the fight, super middleweight world champion, has big wins over Shadeja Green, multi-time national champion, Pan American Games champion. So she is one of the best female boxers in the world, one of the most accomplished. And it was a really electric event. Both camps had a lot of intensity going into the fight, going into fight week, and that obviously served and piqued the interest of fans. And really incredible to see women's boxing, particularly with Detroit being one of boxing's historic hometowns and having so many great champions, and then taking a break for a couple of decades to see the boxer that opened up big time boxing in Detroit is Claressa Shields. It's very meaningful and very impactful, and in a state that produced Joe Louis, Floyd Mayweather, Tommy Hearns, numerous Crown Gym champions that afforded the Joe Louis Arena, which was the previous premier venue in the city of Detroit. Claressa opened it up 3 years ago and progressively has increased interest, increased fans, and the fight in July was so incredible. I really didn't believe that we could top the energy and the intensity, but this fight was even better, even hotter energy, more intense, just absolutely incredible, and great response from boxing fans and from those that are not boxing fans who have now become boxing fans as a result of the great night of boxing, February 22nd at Little Caesars Arena, live on the Zone.
My man, it looked like a huge party. I mean, it was pumping, and from the outside looking in, it was just the atmosphere looked electric. What was it like being there in person? Have you ever experienced anything like that?
It's great that energy came through the screen and that people really felt the vibe and the different energies that the event included in it. So yeah, it was incredible. It was again, we had a lot of performances, a lot of celebrities ringside. The mayor of Detroit. It was an absolutely phenomenal undercard that featured some of the best fighters in the sport, some great world championship bouts that are standalone main events. But because of Claressa's fight, it got a little bit overshadowed. But there was significant amount of fights on that card that that obviously deserve mention, and the fighters like Atif Orbelton, I think, is the next big star in the light heavyweight division from the United States. He just has boxing skills and has that it factor. Feels like he has a lot of charisma and a lot of personality. Daniel Perkins, upset victory over Shea Connealy. Shea is a great champion and a great person, and I'm a fan of what she does and her spirit and her confidence and her determination. And Daniel Perkins, also incredible fighter, incredible story, coming off a win against Claressa Shields, getting the shot at the title. a little bit over a year, and to come back with such a strong performance, absolutely incredible. Bryce Taylor, heavyweight from Brooklyn, New York, now 11-0. I believe one of the top names in American heavyweight boxing that are coming up. And on the non-DAZN on the card, which was on Zeus, a hip hop culture platform that does not usually showcase boxing, but they did broadcast the first 7 fights of the card. In the main event, there was an upset. Samantha Worthington defending her interim WBA world title, and that undercard saw some great young talent. Jasmine Hampton, I believe, is on her way to being a world champion, 112 pounds. Lance Smith, an outstanding fighter from the city of Detroit. Sadia Simmons, two-time national Golden Glove heavyweight champion, now 7-0 as a contender heavyweight. So Jaquan McElroy from Burson Fieldhouse in Flint, multi-time national champion, now 4-0 as a professional. So just a lot of great fighters on different levels of their career, and I'm very grateful to all the different partners that made this event so big and significant.
Dmitry, you've been able to integrate your boxing ecosystem into the world of hip hop. Not many people have been able to do that. What's been the secret?
That's a great point. And I grew up in Star City Boxing Club, which was in Brooklyn, and the beat of the gym was hip hop music, and I was a young immigrant boy, so it was something that I've never heard of before. This is like mid-90s. So in the Soviet Union, we did not have hip hop or rap or any of that genre of music at that time, and so listening to it was a new cultural experience for me. And initially, I wasn't, it wasn't my kind of music, to be honest with you. But then, as time went on, I started loving it, and so much so that I began to rap while I was boxing, and I got a nickname from John Scully, the Russian rapper. Hold on, from the Ukraine, but the message is still the same. And always wanted to be walked out into the ring by a hip hop rapper. And one day I met Matasiahu, who was a reggae Jewish hip hop star whose lyrics resonated with me, and he walked me out to my first title fight, which was in 2004. I believe you can find it somewhere on YouTube. Maybe you can integrate it into this video. So it was incredible. But the great part of this journey is that I got a chance to meet executives at Win Records, which is Ruben Branson and Papoose, and they started working with Claressa a year or so ago, and we met at the fight in Flint, and then they were involved with the fight in July with having Rick Ross part of the event. And I really believe that in today's day and age, with boxing and sports and entertainment merging and going in the direction that it's going in, I believe that having associations with hip hop artists and musicians broadens the brand of the boxers, increases the entertainment value of the fan at the event, and merges these different cultures that really are interdependent, or live very closely to one another. And there have been many different boxing initiatives years ago to try to incorporate these two, but I feel like the time wasn't right. Now the time is right, and I'm very grateful for my partnership with Win Records, because that makes things a lot easier. And they got Boozy, who's a hip hop superstar here in the United States, to walk out Claressa, which was absolutely electric. And Danielle Perkins was walked out by hip hop star Sada Baby was supposed to walk out a teeth, but he had a family emergency, which prevented him from coming to the fight. There were hip hop artists in the crowd, musicians, people from the music industry, and it creates a certain kind of energy that fans want to be around. And I believe that the last two events were a success. So it is a theme and a business plan that we want to keep incorporating into our events.
Dmitry, do you guys have any gauge on the amount of reach those clips had? Because I saw them everywhere. They were literally all over the place online.
I believe that, based on what I've been told unofficially, that some of those clips with Claressa and Franchan fight week are trending and like beating many records in terms of what boxing, the viewership of boxing clips. And the great thing is that it's all natural, that boxing fans are interested and that are drawn. And really, the biggest ticket seller and the biggest star in America right now is Claressa Shields. The biggest star in the sport in America is Claressa Shields.
I would have to agree with you. There's nobody selling out 18,000 people arenas and attracting the star power that she's been attracting.
The interesting thing is that Claressa fought Franchan Cruz, and Franchan obviously has personality, was confident, has the credentials. In July, she fought Lonnie Daniels, who is a very good fighter, champion, but has no name recognition in the United States, not from America. And the crowd that she drew was incredible as well. I think it was 16,000 in July. So the fact that she has such incredible connection, the fans have such an incredible connection and interest in Claressa, and there are people really here from all over the country, even from all over the world. It's really incredible to see. And to announce this fight, we did it at the Detroit Auto Show, which is one of the biggest business conferences in the world. People from all over the world come here to see and showcase vehicles. So on the stage, we had Claressa, Franchan Cruz, myself, Ruben Branson, and Papoose. So it was like these three pillars that made Detroit great and famous all over the world: the auto industry, music, and boxing. And there's no better way to announce that to the world than staging an undisputed heavyweight world title. And incredible that a women's heavyweight world title really created the same kind of energy and interest and electricity that a men's heavyweight world title fight would have, especially between two bona fide American champions.
What was the fight week environment like? People coming in from everywhere. What was it like? Take us through that. Take us through that sort of your activities, activations, and so on.
Both fighters got to Detroit on Tuesday. On Wednesday, they did separate interviews with local shows in Detroit and Flint. On Thursday, we had the official press conference at Little Caesars Arena. Being that we announced the fight at the Detroit Auto Show, it's always good to connect the fight to the arena, and it was a good, respectful press conference where Claressa and Franchan both had good things to say. Some of the fighters from the undercard spoke. And then we had the press workout on Friday at Downtown Boxing Gym in Detroit, one of the most successful after-school programs in the United States that encourages kids from different communities to not only box but to take care of their schoolwork, to stay off the street, and to be positive. So we've hosted many workouts there because it's just such a wonderful program, and that was calm as well. And Franchan was finished with her workout, and Claressa came in just as Franchan was towards the end of giving her interviews, and Claressa, meshed into the reporter crowd, took out her cell phone, and said, "Okay, Miss Franchan Cruz, what round are you gonna knock Claressa Shields out in?" And everybody started laughing, and Franchan, got close to Claressa and and they talk their talk, but it was still kind of light and wasn't uh, it was intense, but it wasn't that intense. Didn't feel like uh, uh, like they would get into a fight. I really felt that they both controlled themselves. And then at the weigh-in, what happened, and that just goes to show you that both of these champions prepared, and there's obviously a lot of energy, a lot of nerves, a lot of emotions going into a big fight like that, and sometimes it spills over, and it spilled over, and and they both of them fought their heart out on Sunday night in front of the world watching on the zone and a packed crowd in Little Caesars Arena.
After the scuffle and the events at the weigh-in, we saw the clip. You went crazy. Like everybody saw it. Even there was a big fight night on Saturday night, so on and so on. But that clip went viral. Did you guys see an uptick in the attraction to the event after that clip went out?
Well, I don't have the numbers yet as to what they did on the zone, but I'm sure it did phenomenally well. Judging by social media engagement, it looked incredible,
Yeah,
and I would imagine boxing uh, is the theater of the unexpected, as Larry Mercer
yeah.
would say. And when two highly skilled athletes uh, meet, two highly skilled champions, there's a lot of tension, there's a lot of excitement, there's a lot of interest. And when emotions spill over, that's what sports is. Sports is about emotion, about rooting for your team, rooting for the boxer that you support, for your city. Uh, and both are, champions, bona fide champions from big boxing cities. French is from Maryland, Washington, D.C., has some great boxing champions, and Claressa is from Michigan, Flint, Detroit. So um, even though Claressa and French are really like sisters, they've supported each other. Even though they fought each other in the amateurs and the pros, French has come to many of Claressa's fights, uh, most of them, and Claressa has done the same. She flew to the UK when she fought Savannah Marshall. She was I think she was there when she beat Shadeja Green. So Claressa is has always been in her corner, and Fanchan has been in Claressa's corner as well. They've even trained together to help each other get ready for fighters that they felt they could help with. Um, and that's what you saw after the fight. After the fight, you saw mutual respect because that intense, intimate moment of being in the ring with one another. And although it's very competitive, real fighters and real world class athletes just increase in respect for one another, and that's what we saw. And it's a beautiful thing for the sport of boxing that you can be very competitive and very intense going into the fight, but once it's over, there is a uh, an aura of respect, and an aura of respect that can not come to anything else. It's a very intimate and special relationship, and we saw it with Gotti Ward, uh, and saw it again with Claressa Shields and Fanchan Cruz.
So with the situation at hand with Claressa, we we usually see, like what we've seen in recent times is female boxing stars have risen on the back of some sort of male boxing star's help. Where Claressa, she's risen by herself, and she's probably one of the rare one or two in the world that has done that when it comes to women's boxing. What do you feel was that moment where she really exploded?
Great question. So the moment that she really exploded, and that the moment that she opened up the door of possibility for women in the United States and all over the world, is when in her second professional fight, she was the main event on premium cable television, which was Showtime. And that moment showed um, uh, the world that women are ready to be on top. Women are ready to get the recognition and the respect that they deserve. And Claressa, sometimes people say that they feel that Claressa is too expressive, let's say. But leaders in any field, in every field, have to speak out against things that they feel that are unjust and issues that need to be resolved. And the fact that Claressa has the heart and the courage to speak about it and not caring what anybody thinks is one of the reasons why women's boxing is where it's at. And the name of her movie that people can watch on Amazon is called The Fire Inside. What a great title. Because that's what Claressa Shields is. She is the fire inside. From being a young girl in Michigan, in Flint, Michigan, one of the most challenged cities in the United States, and facing challenges that most of us would not be able to deal with. She became a two-time Olympic gold medalist, the greatest amateur and then professional fighter in history of the sport in the United States. So it takes that kind of personality to walk the walk and talk the talk. And when those two merge, greatness happens and doors open and things start being more equal. And, when we did, so during COVID, no network wanted to put on women's boxing. I feel like women's boxing suffered disproportionately during that period of time. And Claressa had to stay active. I made a commitment to her. So we decided to do an all women's pay-per-view. And she then had Perkins fought on that card as well. And it was a statement to make during that period of time. And the quote of the day in New York Times was Claressa Shields. It was, I don't exactly remember what it was, but it was about fighting for equality. And she's been doing it ever since she was a kid in Flint, Michigan. And incredible to see that what she has accomplished and where she came from and what she's doing. And throughout her career, she always wanted to have women fighters on the card. So if you look at BoxRec, most of the events always had a women's fight on the undercard. Sometimes they were signed to us, sometimes they weren't signed to us. It was more about a statement. It was more about showing the world that elite women boxers are here, and that Claressa is really the boxer with the great boxer with the broad shoulders to carry the sport forward, and that's what she did. And we saw the expression of that on the world stage on Sunday night.
Two-time Olympic medalist, multiple division champion. What's next? What's left, actually?
She can retire today, and she's made Hall of Fame a couple of times. The Fire Inside, what a great title for the movie about Claressa, because that's what drives her. And a lot of times you have to talk fighters into big fights, and not with Claressa. I mean, before I signed her, she said, "Dmitry, promise me that you're going to make the biggest and the best fights." And from winning her first world title in her fourth professional fight against Nikki Adler, who was 17-0, to find Christina Hammer, who was the undisputed middleweight champion, to traveling to the UK and beating Savannah Marshall. She is really always wanted to challenge herself and fight the best. And on the broadcast, she said that she wants to fight Shadeja Green first and Michaela Meyer next. So what a legacy-making statement. Claressa has gone up and down the weight to make history, and she's willing to do the same again.
That Michaela Meyer fight would be a very big one. I mean, it's just a matter of making it happen. You've gone from 16,000 people in the arena in July to 18,000 and change in your last event. you seem to be upping it every time. What are we going to see next?
It's a surprise that we're working on. I mean, there's a lot of different ideas and many different requests for Claressa to fight in different cities and so and even different continents. But let the dust settle a little bit. We obviously will review all the options, all the realistic options, and every one of Claressa's fights is really historic, and the next one will be in line with that mission statement.
Could we see a Vegas homecoming? Not homecoming, but when it comes to boxing, it's the home of boxing.
Yeah, we could see Vegas, we could see New York City, we could see Atlanta. All those markets are interesting for Claressa. New York City is the media capital of the world. To have someone like Claressa headline one of the premier venues in New York City would be absolutely electric and special. Atlanta is where Claressa has been living for the last several years. To do a fight there at State Farm Arena would be special, and obviously Vegas. You know, if it's big enough, we'd love to do something at the Sphere. To be the first woman to headline the fight at the Sphere would be very special. There are fights to make. There's history to make, and we just coming off this incredible event. We'll take our time and think about the next most significant and important steps with our partners at Win Records.
And lastly, Dmitry, these events to pull off to the level that you guys are pulling them off are very, very hard. Take us a bit behind the scenes. I mean, take us through the moments that you think, oh no, it's gone to shit. You know, those turbulent moments and how you guys overcome them.
Thank you for recognizing it, and you make a great point. And I turned professional in 2001 with Top Rank when I was 19 years old, and fighting on the Mayweather cards and on the Eric Morales and all Vladimir Klitschko. So you go to these big events and you feel like, oh my God, this is like impossible, right? So feels so complicated, like a different unreachable world. And very grateful that I started promoting really from club shows, setting up chairs, and calling insurance brokers, and matching fights, and really doing all the groundwork that it takes to make an event happen. And very grateful for the blessing of being able to have a great team to make this very complicated and sophisticated event happen. And as you wisely recognized, fires happen every day, and you think that you experienced it all, but really every event, particularly a bigger event, something happens that has never happened before. So it's a great experience, and I think it's how the approach to a challenge is how you deal with it and how you kind of figure out what to do. Certainly after the weigh-in a couple of days ago, it was it was a little choppy and challenging, but I'm grateful that we were able to work things out. And the fortunate part, some people say unfortunate, but fortunate for me is that I love the sport of boxing. I really love it. And even when times are difficult, and even when it feels everybody thinks that it's things are not going so well, I really love it and use those moments as a great learning experience. And from imagine getting a call, getting the hype of Jarrell Miller fight versus Anthony Joshua, then getting that call about the failed drug test and dealing with that, to all the different challenges that happen in the sport. It's really been a great journey, and I'm still learning, and I love it, and I really am inspired and grateful for what we've accomplished. But I really believe that we're just getting started, and I really believe that there's much more to come, and I'm very excited about those possibilities. And
Dmitry,
I'm really, in a way, excited where boxing is going. I know there's some seem to be some challenging things, but overall, I'm excited where boxing is going.
I absolutely agree with you that we've never had so many fights, so many big players involved, and the sport as a fan, we're getting a treat. I mean, there's fights on now every single week almost.
Yes,
So
and the the contention and the tension between different promotional entities. That's not my business plan. My business plan is to work with everybody. Obviously, sometimes you can't, but if you can. But a lot of the stuff is entertaining and it pulls the fans in, so it's part of the sport. But I do hope that within that tension, the best fights can be made, and when it counts, that people can put aside those feelings and make the best decision for the sport of boxing, the best decisions for the sport of boxing, for the fighters they represent, and for the fans.
competition is good. It keeps people thinking outside the box and bringing in innovative thoughts.
Competition is good. Monopoly is not good, but competition is good.
Absolutely. Dmitry, I want to thank you very much once again. You're always very generous with your time with us. Do you have any final words?
Yes, I love seeing your clips when we done.
You'll be seeing more.
I'll be seeing more. I look forward to it. This is probably going to be a clip.
Absolutely.
And then I love seeing those clips. And I'm like, man, did I say that? But no, I'm very grateful for this opportunity, and look forward to chatting again. Our next fight is March 19th in Puerto Rico, featuring some of the best Puerto Rican talent in the sport. Again, Puerto Rico, similar to Michigan, one of the places that has produced a tremendous amount of world champions.
Wow, we lost him right at the end as he was telling us more about Puerto Rico and what he's doing. But what we will do, I mean, the event that they put on last week was absolutely amazing. They're doing some great things. Before their next one, I will bring him back on, hopefully with the one of the lead fighters, and we will talk more about that event. For now, that's all. Thank you very much, guys. I appreciate you all tuning in. I appreciate Dmitry taking the time after such a busy, crazy weekend, joining us on the show. Take care, everyone. We'll catch you on the next episode of Raw Sport. Take care.